working across the on-site centers, the domestic offshore and the offshore centers in India, you really have to work with only one goal. And that project made us learn what is mergers and acquisition. That was, I'm talking about a story of 2002, when all of you must have been seeing in the papers a lot about mergers and acquisitions. And people used to call it as murders and acquisitions, mainly because one CEO takes over, the other one naturally gets killed, and then, it is basically the mightier system which takes over, and then the people who come with innovative ideas are the people who are actually wanted, and there is a lot of convergence of systems, infrastructure, people, process, everything happens. And when you have to play a part and then be on an advisory role and make sure that you are part of a change management and then deliver the goods, I am very sure that this kind of an experience not many people in the world would have got. Because one night, and I got a call from my RM, I think all names to be only within this wall, Samba Murthy is his name. He said, first around 1 o'clock he must have called me. The first question was, Hema, are you sleeping? I told him, yes, at 1 o'clock in the night, what did you expect me to do? He said, no, I'm driving. I'll put you Farooq Sinha in the call. He was a CIO of Bank One. He wants to have a word with you about this project. I was actually off asleep, and I just told him, okay, I'll talk to him, because he is already bridging me there. So I didn't know what to do. So I said, okay, I'll speak to Farooq. And then Farooq said, Hema, you must realize that this project is touching 174 channels of the bank, which is the second largest bank in the US. So if you do not deliver this system well, the entire bank will come to its knees. We will definitely see that the entire system will come onto its knees, and all of us will be on our knees. I told Farooq, I do not know what courage I had. I told him two things. One, Farooq, I must tell you that you will be still on your knees. He was very upset about it. I told him, not because this project is going to be not successful. It's only because you want to thank God that it has gone well. And that's the assurance I can give you. I don't think I can give you anything more. And it really happened. And we probably are presenting that as a large program case study in many of the MBA program in IIT. And we have repeated it at least once or twice. And everybody who heard it, with all the technical details that we are talking about, has really appreciated that this could not be done by somebody who is very ordinary, and somebody who cannot really have a forethought, and who cannot be done by somebody who has not anticipated the risks and then mitigated the risks. And then this has probably been more helped by God also in a way. So I think that has been one of the growth story I can really talk about. Other instance that I had when I was in Miami, when I'm sure some of you might know that Miami is a place which is hit by the tornadoes all through the year, and particularly August to November is the year when I was working for American Express in Miami. And that's the time I really learned how to be without food for 5 days. And there was a Hurricane Andrew, and I had a 2-year-old daughter who was with me, and my mother-in-law to take care of her. She just flew to spend some time with us, and the entire city came to stand still. And we really had to walk and stand in the queue for 4 hours to get a slice of loaf of bread, because if there is no power in the US, you can imagine, no power, no car, that means that no limbs. So you cannot drive, you cannot really go and get milk, you cannot refrigerate it, because Miami is very hot, and no milk will survive. So we were generally heating everything in the barbecue garden outside, and that is what has taught us that life outside is not going to be all that rosy whenever you are outside. Because when you really get a send off from many people who are your friends and relatives when you go overseas, and then they come and think that there is so many, the life in the US or life in the UK is full of roses. It is not so. You really have to really live through every day, and you really have to earn not only your credibility, but also make sure that you are stable and safe in a place where you are working. So I think some of these experiences really helped me a lot, and I just thought I put up something for you. So when I joined in 85, and I just thought I'll give you another statistics. Probably I must have traveled more than about 80 overseas trips. Some of them were long stints to New Zealand and Australia and UK and US and Netherlands and Switzerland and Germany. I think that's part of, you are like a medical representative where you will just carry a bag and then you will have to really go and then start doing something. Surprisingly, what was happening was some of the stints were for years, some of the stints were for months, some of the stints were for days, and there are in the last few months it's been more like you go for a month, you go for 1 hour meeting and you fly down for 30 hours, and that has been the case in the last few months. So I think the entire IT career of anybody, irrespective of whether he or she, is something which is bundled with a lot of travel, constant travel, and then it is bundled with a lot of stress because you always have something which is unanticipated. It is basic, and it is also bundled with a lot of uncertainty with respect to the team and the attrition of the team, which is going to really be part of your, and it is also going to be it's going to be bundled with a lot of expectations which are not just customer satisfaction. You must know that there is something called customer excellence or customer wow factor. I think no client is wanting you to just deliver what they are asking you to do. It is just an order taking, but they really are expecting you to come up with innovative ways of making them successful, and that is what will be your competitive differentiation which you need to present to the client. So I just thought that 85 to 89 was building individual strength, where you work across technologies, work across domain, learn to work with disparate teams, making a lot of travel and then staying and then working with the customers. And then 90 to 95 was then where I started managing people of very large teams. And then 98 to 2000, of course, I don't have to tell you, was a Y2K boom, where you really have to turn around more than 1 billion lines of code in a Y2K factory of TCS, where we won a lot of recognition for that. And then 95 to 98 was leading people, making the transformation with the customers, and then till date, 98 to till date, it's valuing people. I think that's very important in your life. When you have to really go up, you have to definitely work in a co-sourcing mode, not only with your internal teams, not only with your bosses, but also with the external customers. And there are times where you will be working with other vendors too. There will be other IT majors who will be working along in a cascaded manner, that your delivery will be always will be actually decided by the others. So you really learn the tricks of the trade, and then I would probably say that if you are always willing to learn, and you are making your team to learn a lot and stretch them beyond their imagination, definitely you can definitely do well. And at the same time, I just thought that there is something that every one of us will play when you grow. Maybe you may not be able to imagine all the roles that a career person would have performed, either no matter what profession they are in, whether you are in IT, whether you are in any other core engineering company, or you are part of your energy or steel or whatever, be the sector in which you work and whatever role you take, either as a research associate or as a programmer or as a boss or an IT strategist or a person who has got a special domain skills. I really feel that the professional excellence, the role enhancement, owing the culture, and so that you really appreciate the values and also make sure that you are respected for what values you bring in. Like, for example, you must be a part of a leading change. You cannot be just talking about a legacy technology or legacy framework. You should be a person who is respected for your excellence, respect for individual, integrity, and also learning and sharing. And that's very important. In my opinion, if you have 3 C's as your mantra, create, communicate, and collaborate, that definitely will bring you a lot of laurels. And I don't think you need to really worry about what comes to you, and everything will come to you on its own. Personal growth, it's very important, because as you grow the organization, you should also grow along with that. And employee involvement. And many a time there are things which go to crisis mainly because you really treat a person as a commodity and make sure that he or she delivers whatever he or she is expected to do. But if you give them a big picture and then make sure that they are also involved in the process, so that when you really get the job done, they really feel they're passionate about doing things for you. And I must tell you with a lot of pride that there are lots of people in TCS and out of TCS who have worked with me for more than 20 years without seeing a change of boss. There are people who probably spent more than 15 years with me. There are many people who have spent more than 10 years with me. It is not because they really are in a comfort zone. It is not because they are probably in one single project like you work in a government department. Mainly because it is the kind of empowerment they get, the challenges they get, the opportunities they get, and the recognition and the reward they get. I think that's what is very important. It's not so much that you do, but you must be recognized for that. I think if that is there as a give and take, definitely you will be successful. And there is learning. Learning is becoming more of a never ending process. You need to learn, and you definitely play the role. I'm sure for all of you, this is not a new terminology. You become a coach, you become a hunter to get the talent and then dig the talent, you explore the talent, and then like a gardener, you sow the seeds, and then you are a healer. When there is a problem, you should show the empathy and then make sure that you cannot be swearing your own associate to do something which she or he cannot do, but make sure that you really know the personal constraints and grievances and then work along. So I think if you play any one of these roles as a coach and an explorer or a gardener or a healer, you definitely will be respected. And I'm sure that some of these clauses are not very new to you. This is balancing the work and home, particularly when you raise a family. It's not very easy for you to really look at only the organization priorities or only your personal priorities. You definitely have to make sure that your family understands your career implication and also your constant travel, and while you enter your home, you probably come home with a call on, and then you probably may not realize what you eat at your dinner table, and still when your children are going to sleep or gone to sleep, you probably are still in the call. So I think that's the kind of understanding that the family has to have, in order that they support you, they really understand your career obligations, and then make sure that their expectations are actually matching. But at the same time, whenever you get time, whenever you really want to spend the time, you make sure that you spend the quality time with them, and then make sure that you exercise all your project management activities and your outsourcing activities at home also, so that at home also you are probably respected for what you are. And I always tell my women colleagues or my women friends that if you, no matter what you do not outsource your children to a crèche, or no matter what you do not teach collaboration and leadership only in the office. You start you start actually practicing it at home, because whatever you outsource, if you really do that, practice it at home, it is not going to be useful to you. So you really outsource it to the people who care and care for you, so that you know that your family is under good care, so that you don't have to worry about what they do and when they do, whenever you are outside or whenever you are stuck in a very critical project. And at least that much of, I would say, magnanimity every woman has to possess in order to really make sure that they really give in more than taking more, and so that they get the best support. Because I have always seen the best or the most successful people, irrespective of their gender, I have always seen their biography to be those who have got the best support from their own family. And I'm sure that if that is there is definitely, there is lot of free mind to work well and deliver your goods. And I'm sure that this message can definitely be taken, mainly because any career, no matter what, if you have to establish, you need to work hard, work long hours, travel a lot, have constant deadlines, and I'm sure that to alleviate or circumvent all that, you need to really get the full support. So this is probably my very short message to you. I just thought that I have a kind of it's not a film, it's basically a consolidation of some of my milestones with some messages to youngsters. So I just thought I will just show it to you. And once we do that, maybe I'm open for questions. And